that you are in the process of creating disease in your body. So we need to get you back in alignment with self. And I'll show you financially how to do it, how to bridge to this new place and this new life. So it's whatever your belief system is, because you are the creator of your life. No one's created it for you. You've created every ounce of it. And when you start to realize how powerful you are and that you've created every ounce of it, like people will say to me going, well, you just don't understand because you have a bunch of money. I'm like, listen, I grew up on the other side of the tracks on food stamps. I created every ounce of what I've created, and you can too. Like, there are bumps in the road, but it's about how you respond to those bumps. It's about what you do about it. It's like, are you being reactive? Or are you having enough emotional space that you can observe it and then make a different conscious choice? And if you're very reactive, I find those are the people who, when you're super reactive, then that is a huge sign that you're in your trauma patterns.
Does it come down to externally blaming the government, the economy, the circumstances versus an internal belief that I can do this? Because there are people that are living on $34,000 a year and they've completely erased all their debt. And then there are people that have millions of dollars and they have millions of debt on eliminating their debt. What'd you say?
Right. And they have millions of dollars in debt.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a belief system. So again, you are the creator of your reality. And when you are coming from a place of being financially disempowered, you're blaming others. It's your employer's fault. It's how your parents handled you. It's how, the economy, the president, the whatever. Like, if you're pointing the finger at something else outside of yourself, then it's likely you, because it's not about anyone else but you. And you have to choose to decide to come from a place of financial empowerment. So you insulate yourself from any of the crap that's happening out in the world, so where it doesn't touch you, because you've created your own financial insulation. And people just have a problem with what's going on in the world because they haven't insulated themselves enough.
You mentioned something about trauma. There's definitely money-related trauma in people's lives. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about what kind of trauma can affect us financially and what people can do in handling that trauma to empower themselves when it comes to finances?
Well, I think they really just need to take a look at, if you understand where that trauma has come from, you've probably also attracted people in your life that also reinforce that trauma. So for an example, I had a client who had a father who was a narcissist, and then she kept getting these bosses that would dangle a carrot enough. But she was reliving her relationship with her dad over and over again because she kept working for narcissists, because that's what she was familiar with. She's a people pleaser and a fix-it. And so she was always people pleasing and fixing it, but she was never always getting to the C-suite and be the chief marketing officer. She could never get up there because they'd always dangle the carrot. She'd work really hard and then be like, oh, sorry, we're just not going to do this. And after like the fourth employer, and she was making decent money. Like, she was making, $250,000 a year, college educated with undergrad and graduate. But this is where we see where our trauma patterns are interrupting our careers, because I was like, you know what? This is about you standing up to the narcissist, which is you standing up to your dad, because that's what it all represents, because she had never stood up to her dad. And what was interesting is that as she went through that healing process, she actually then started to thrive and her income is way higher. She decided to start her own business. She's like, I'm just done. But that's taking a risk, right? But she didn't have to be underneath anyone else's tutelage to get that all done. So when we start to realize that we are the creators of our lives and going, oh, what is my patterning? And then you recognize that patterning, then you make steps to actually curve that, but you're going to be facing the stuff that you've avoided facing your entire life. And so that's what the process actually goes through. But I tell you, there's a lot of people that are waiting and willing to go, okay, I'm just done. Let me get to this next right step.
Yeah, and a lot of people, if their belief system is that money is the way that I'm going to be happy, or my relationships are going to improve, and just getting a new car or whatever, having enough in my bank account, my life is going to get better. That's not the truth, because there are a lot of people that have money that are miserable, right?
Yeah,
having money.
To that point, I categorize in my book, Awaken Your Wealth. I talk about that people are either poor, debtors, dreamers, accumulators, or rich but empty. Because anyone who's poor, debtor, dreamer, or an accumulator, they all think that once they hit this place financially, then it's going to be great. And then they get there and they're rich but empty because they didn't do the things that actually create sustainable happiness. They were looking for something outside of themselves, like the money to create their happiness. And then once they get those multi-millions and they can retire, they're sitting there going, I'm not happy. And it's because they didn't align with themselves. Because what many of us do is we make these career choices and lifestyle choices that pull us off of our soul's path. And the more you're not in alignment with yourself, the bigger the midlife crisis you call in, the bigger you feel empty at the end of the day. And we have to be mindful of that as we age, because that's actually what then creates disease in our bodies, because we're at disease with ourselves, because we've not lived in alignment with how we really feel and what we really are nourished by in this world. And so I'm always asking people like, do you love your job? And I don't have many people that say yes to that question. And I'm like going, so why do you do it if you don't love it? Well, I liked it at one time, but then they stay there because they get trapped in the stock, that the company dangles, or the bonuses, or they handcuff them into their compensation plans. Like, well, I don't want to leave. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm telling you, I've seen this enough over 25 years that you are in the process of creating disease in your body. So we need to get you back in alignment with self. And I'll show you financially how to do it, how to bridge to this new place and this new life, so that you're not only avoiding the disease you're creating in your body, but you're not also going backwards financially to be able to do that. And where there's a will, there's a way. And you just have to decide in your mind that you're ready to take the jump and to believe in yourself. And once you're ready to do that and you choose to be empowered, all bets are off. You can do anything you want, and you can be happy and have what I call embodiment of real wealth at any place where you're at financially. Because to your point, I know people who make $40,000 a year and they have the best life. They are happy. They are living it because they're in 100% alignment with themselves. And I have people who have $10 million plus, and they are the most miserable people in this earth. So the money is not what creates sustainable happiness. Do you want to experience free coaching based on my 25 plus years as being a financial planner, and ask me any question that you want to ask me to help you get past that hurdle in your financial world? I run these free workshops every other month to start to open you up, to start to help you get to this next place. The information for my free workshop, click the link below and register, and I'll see you on the next workshop.